Should be up.
Come. Let's open it up. Let's kick it off. Right? Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 7. Right? Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse number 7.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 7. Remember the days of old.
The Lord say,
remember the days of old.
What's Passover about?
Remember the days of old.
Right?
Consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will shew thee. Thy elders, and they will tell thee.
So the Lord tells us to remember the days of old. The Passover is a day of remembrance. A day of the Lord remembering and delivering us out of Egypt. A day of deliverance via Yahweh Shai, allowing us to be free from sin and the penalty of death. A day delivered from hardcore bondage. So the Most High requires us to remember the days of old, to take our minds out of this present time, out of the future, and out of the plans that we have and that we think that's going to come to pass, and go retrospectively and look back and see how the Lord works with our forefathers, man. Read on.
When the Most High...
Actually, go to Psalm chapter 77 and 5. So we're remembering the days of old, right? We are remembering the days of old. Psalm 77 and 5.
Psalm chapter 77 and verse 5. I have considered the days of old, the years of ancient times. I call to remembrance my song in the night. I commune with my own heart, and my spirit made diligent search.
Read it again.
I call to remembrance my song in the night. I commune with my own heart, and my spirit made diligent search.
Read.
Will the Lord cast off forever?
What the Lord say?
Will the Lord cast off forever?
Right, David asks, will the Lord cast off forever? Right, go on.
And will he be favorable no more?
Read.
Is his mercy clean gone forever?
Is the Most High's mercy clean gone forever, man? You got brothers being decapitated, bones being dismembered, men still being lynched, women still being lynched in 2023, man. Right? You may think the Most High's mercy is clean gone forever, man. See, if you're not in this truth, you don't have any hope. You don't have any hope because we can go back and see how the Most High delivered us from these situations, man. From many captivities, man. Read the book of Judges, man. Every captivity the Lord did what? Raised up a Savior. Raised up Othniel. Raised up Samson. Raised up all these mighty men. Right? You may think the Most High's mercy is clean going forever, but that's what this Passover is about, man. It's about remembering how the Most High delivered us from that evil situation, man. And the hardcore bondage and being evil afflicted of the Egyptians. Read on.
Doeth his promise fail forevermore?
Read.
Hath Yahweh forgotten to be gracious?
Read.
Hath he in anger shut up his tender mercies?
And you may think that, damn, there's no hope, man. The Most High is not dealing with Israel anymore. Right? We're in the ghettos, the slums, the projects, we're being killed. We never get a fair shake. Right? We get underhand, we over-labor. It's the Most High's mercy. Are his promises done? Read on.
Salah, and I say, this is my infirmity. But I will remember the years of the right hand of the Most High.
David said, this is my infirmity, but I will do what?
God. But I will remember the years.
I'm going to forget.
But I will remember the years.
I'm going to let it go.
I will remember the years of the right hand of the Most High.
What does that mean? I will remember the years of the right hand of the Most High, man. I mean, all of the mighty works, that's what we're going to remember, man. Right? When you're down and you're stressed and you're dealing with woes and sorrow and depression, you have to remember the right hand of the Most High, man. All of the times the Most High brought you out of situations. We all been in situations, man. Spiritually, mentally, physically, financially, and the Most High has delivered us from every situation we've been in, man. So when you're in these stressful Egyptian-like captivities, man, and your back is against the wall and you're stuck between straits, you have to remember the years of the right hand of the Most High, man. Right? So that's what these feast days are about. It's about hope. It's about recalling what the Most High did in time past, and we're looking forward for those same works and same actions to be wrought all over on his people again. Come? Let's go to Exodus chapter 12 and 40. Let's talk about the right hand of the Most High, man. Right? Exodus chapter 12 and verse 40.
God. Exodus chapter 12 and verse 40. Now, the sojourning of the children of Israel who dwelt in Egypt was 430 years.
Right?
And it came to pass, at the end of 430 years, even the self-same day, it came to pass that all the hosts of the land went out from the land of Egypt. It is a night to be much observed.
What the Lord say?
It is a night to be much observed.
Don't we forget about it.
It is a night to be much observed.
It is a night to be much observed. Read that one more time.
It is a night to be much observed unto the Lord for bringing them from the land of Egypt. This is that night of the Lord to be observed of all the children of Israel in their generation.
So this is a forever thing, huh? This is not a one-time, okay, we kept the Passover in Detroit, okay, next year we'll figure out what we're going to do. No, this is an every generation, every day, every year generational event, man. Our people do Christmas, every year Thanksgiving, right? Mother's Day, Father's Day, all of the worldly holidays. But me personally, I've never heard of the Passover, man. Prior to coming to the truth, man. I didn't know about a Passover, man. And the lamb and the bitter herbs, right? And the unleavened bread and the wine and Yahweh Shai, man. So we have to get back to building a nation, man. And coming back to building a nation starts with the Most High's laws and commandments, man. You got plenty of children in here, man. And they're keeping the Passover, man. You got babies keeping the Passover. I see babies with girdles on, daughters with head wraps on, man. This is beautiful, man. So it's a beautiful thing as a nation comes back to the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments, and we remember nights like the night that the Lord delivered us out of Egypt, man. There is no greater night than that night, man. Read that one more time.
Exodus chapter 12 and verse 42.
Right?
It is a night to be much observed.
It is a night to be much observed. Now, we're going to go to the blue letter. We're going to go to the Hebrew word for observed. Right? What does it mean? It is a night to be observed. Right? Read that.
Strong's definition. Shemor. Strong's HA107. Shemor. Night watch.
What does it mean?
Night watch.
What is the Passover about?
Night watch.
What do Yahweh Shai ask us?
Night watch.
Right?
Watching.
What is it?
Watching.
What is it?
Watching.
What is it?
Watching.
Read.
Vigil.
What is it?
Vigil.
So the Lord said it is a night to be much observed. When you go into the Hebrew for that word observed, it means it is a night of watching. A night of a vigil. Brothers know what a vigil is. Right? When someone dies and you have the people, what do? They come out at night. And they stay up all night. They have the candles. They throw up prayers. They have a memorial. There's a service. That's called a vigil. That's where you get the word vigilante from. A vigilante is a watcher. So another aspect of the Passover that's not really talked about too often is the fact that it's a night of watching. Right? Now, it's not talking about watching as in watching TV or watching as in watching the Final Four. What does it mean as watching? Watching prophecy. Right? What else? Watching the spirit. What else? Current events. What else? Signs of the times. What else? Brother said what else? Memories, end times. Everything, man. So when you're watching, you're observing. Right? Which means what? You're not falling asleep. Spiritually or physically. The Passover is a feast day that's set up by Yahweh B'Shem Shai. And it's not like any other feast day because this feast day is different. This feast day is supposed to start late at night and run all night. Let's go to the book of Exodus chapter 12 and 1. Let's talk about it. Exodus chapter 12 and verse 1.
Exodus chapter 12 and verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, this month shall be unto you the beginning of months.
Right?
It shall be the first month of the year to you.
That's the month of Bib. Right? That was March 20th at sundown. Go on.
Speak ye unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, in the 10th day of this month, they shall take to them every man a lamb according to the house of their fathers. A lamb for a house.
A lamb for the house, right? Read on.
And if the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next unto his house take it according to the number of the souls. Every man according to his eating shall make your count for the lamb.
So there should be enough lamb for everyone in that household. If my household doesn't have enough lamb to provide for us, I'll go to Amos' household, right? And then he can provide for my household and his, right? And vice versa. Read on.
Your lamb shall be without blemish.
Your lamb should be without blemish.
A male of the first year, ye shall take it out from the sheep or from the goats.
Right? Meaning you take it out from the flock. Go on.
And ye shall keep it up until the 14th day of the same month, and the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening.
Read.
And they shall take of the blood and strike it on the two side posts and on the upper doorposts of the houses wherein they shall eat it.
Right, so you would actually do this, man. Have brothers seen the movie Prince of Egypt? Have you seen the Prince of Egypt? It gives you a visual. Right, they take the blood, they put it on the lintel, and they put it on the doorpost. Right, they physically did that because when the destroyer came, the death angel, when the angel saw the blood, it would pass over your house and move on to the next house and move on to the next house and get to the filthy Egyptians, man. Likewise, our bodies are these modern day houses, sanctified by the blood of Yahushua. So as the destruction and the modern day plagues roll through America, it will pass over our vessels and destroy these other nations. Con? Read on.
And they shall eat the flesh in that night, roast with fire.
Roast with what?
Roast with fire.
Roast with fire, go on.
And unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat it.
Now, how long does it take to cook a lamb? A whole lamb? Oh, 5 hours. 5 hours, right? Now, we're going to go and show you the timeline of the Passover. Because, again, they didn't eat Passover at 6 p.m. They didn't eat it as soon as the sun went down. You had to wait till the lamb cooked. Right? So, and then the Mosai had to kill the Egyptians at a certain time. He said he was going to kill the Egyptians at an exact time throughout the day. Right? Now, when you look it up, Yardan, he's pulling it up. It tells you it takes about 5 hours to cook a whole lamb. All right, so the sun goes down, let's say around 7 o'clock. You got to wait 5 hours. It hits midnight, your lamb is done. Right? Now, read on.
Now, verse 9. Eat not of it raw, nor salt him at all with water, but roast with fire his head with his legs, and with the pertinence thereof.
Meaning you cook the entire lamb straight through. Right, go on.
And ye shall let nothing of it remain until the morning.
Right.
And that which remains of it until the morning you shall burn with fire.
Right.
And thus shall ye eat it.
What the Lord say?
And thus shall ye eat it.
So this is how you eat it, right? Go on.
With your loins girded.
With your what?
With your loins girded.
With your loins girded.
Your shoes on your feet.
Your shoes on your feet.
And your staff in your hand.
Right?
And ye shall eat it in haste.
And what?
And ye shall eat it in haste.
What?
It is the Lord's Passover.
It is the Lord's Passover. So we were up all night. And why do we have to eat it in haste? Because we were watching. Waiting. Right? For that what? For that signal to leave Egypt. Waiting and watching until the Lord gave us the green light to leave Egypt. That's why we had our shoes in our feet, our staff in our hand, our loins girded, and ready to roll out. Brothers understand, Con?
Yeah.
Again, when you celebrate the so-called white man's feast days, it's a day of thinking about Thanksgiving, right? You're unbuckling your belt buckle, you're kicking your feet up on an ottoman, you're watching the Detroit Lions, you're watching the Cowboys, and you're relaxing for about 7 hours, man. The Passover is not one of those feast days. Now go to Romans 7 and 14. Right, go to Romans chapter 7 and 14.
Romans chapter 7 and verse 14.
Because you may say, okay, well, staff, I have my staff. I have my shoes on my feet. I have my loin, my girdle on. Right? It's deeper than that. Right? The law is spiritual. Why would the Lord command us to do such things? Huh? Right? And how does it pertain to the times that we live in now? Read that.
For we know that the law is spiritual.
That the law is spiritual. Every aspect of the Passover is spiritual. The lamb is spiritual. Who's the lamb? Yahweh Shah, huh? Right? What does the unleavened bread represent? Right, your spirit without leaven, without sin in it, huh? The bitter herbs are spiritual for what? The hard bondage. The wine is spiritual for what? The blood of Yahweh Shah, huh? So don't just stop and make that part spiritual, and now you're looking at the staff, the shoes, the loins, and eating in haste, and you go back to having a carnal mindset, huh? All of that is spiritual. It's all about watching in the night season, waiting to flee from the times of evil at hand. Go to the book of Exodus chapter 12 and go back to verse 12. Right? Exodus chapter 12 and 12.
Exodus chapter 12 and verse 12. For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night.
This what?
This night.
Key word, this night. Read.
And will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast, and against all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am the Lord.
So brothers, have your spiritual mind open, huh? When you read this, read the law on a physical level, but understand it on a spiritual level as well. Right? The Lord said he's going to do this at night. Right? What season are we in right now? It's the night season. The spiritual night season. Right? Go to Exodus chapter 11 and 1.
Exodus chapter 11 and verse 1.
Hold on. First go to Ecclesiastes 3 and 15. Right? Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and 15. This is the spiritual night season, huh? Right? You should still have your loins girded. Right? And your shoes on your feet, huh? At any given second, this place can go down, huh?
Great.
That's what the Lord is teaching you. Always be ready. Always watch. Right, read that.
Ecclesiastes 3 and verse 15. That which has been is now, and that which is to be has already been.
And what?
And Yahweh required that which is past.
So there's no new thing under the sun. The spirit of ancient Egypt is here all over again. And it's not just the slavery. It's not just working in the field. It's not just the decimation of the firstborns. It's also the spirit of being ready to leave this place at any given second, man. Spiritually, the bombs could drop. All hell could break loose, man. Are you ready for the battle at hand, man? That's what the Lord is showing you, right? That's what we're going to. It's a night of watching. Go back to Exodus. Go to chapter 11, right? And go to verse 2.
Exodus chapter 11 verse 2. Speak now in the ears of the people, and let every man borrow of his neighbor, and every woman of her neighbor, jewels of silver and jewels of gold.
Read.
And the Lord gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians. Moreover, the man Moses was very great in the land of Egypt, in the sight of Pharaoh's servants, and in the sight of the people.
So Moses waxed great, right? Go on.
And Moses said, thus said the Lord, about midnight.
About what?
About midnight.
What time?
About midnight.
Now the Lord doesn't wing it, man. The Lord doesn't think I just want to do midnight. The Lord is precise, man. And he's a hitman, man. The Lord don't miss, man. Everything's calculated to a T, man. He said at midnight. Let's think about it spiritually. Read it again.
And Moses said, thus saith the Lord, about midnight will I go out into the midst of Egypt.
At midnight, I will go out into the midst of Egypt.
And all the firstborn in the land of Egypt shall die. From the firstborn of Pharaoh that sitteth upon his throne, even unto the firstborn of the maidservant that is behind the mill, and all the firstborn of beasts.
Read.
And there shall be a great cry through all the land of Egypt, such as there was none like it, nor shall be like it anymore.
Read.
But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast.
That what?
That ye may know.
That what?
That ye may know that the Lord doeth put a difference between the Egyptians and
You
Israel.
see that? So the Most High said about midnight, I'm gonna kill all these Egyptians, man. Firstborn of man and beast. And there will be a great cry. And there will be none like it, man. That ye may know that I'm putting a difference between my people and the Egyptians. Now, go to the book of Exodus, the 12th chapter, and go back to the 12th verse.
Exodus chapter 12 and verse 12. For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night.
This night, now we know what time is that. Midnight. All right, go on.
And will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast, and against all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am the Lord.
So that's the plan. Brothers understand so far, Khan? Go to verse 29. Let's jump up, right? Exodus 12 and 29.
God. Verse 29. And it came to pass that at midnight,
That at what?
at midnight, the Lord smote all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sat on his throne unto the firstborn of the captive that was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of the cattle.
Now, what were the Israelites doing at midnight during this time? What were they doing? Somebody said it start with a W. They was watching. At nighttime, they were watching. What was the heathen doing? Let's read on.
Verse 30. And Pharaoh rose up in the night.
So Pharaoh was asleep at night, and the Israelites are watching at night. Go on.
And Pharaoh rose up in the night, he and all his servants, and all the Egyptians, and there was a great cry in Egypt, for there was not a house where there was not one dead.
So during this night of watching, the Israelites are awake, watching what the Most High is doing. The Egyptians are what? Sleep. And guess what happened? They got caught like a thief in the night, man. The Lord caught them like a thief in the night. That which has been is now, right? That which is to be has already been, and God required that which is past, man. All of the Egyptians were asleep, man. Go to 1 Thessalonians, right? Actually, go to 2nd Ezra first, chapter 14 and 10. Right? This is going to happen all over again. This is the spirit of the Passover. It's a spirit of night watching. It's a spirit to decide who's asleep, who's awake. Who's watching, who gets their house broken up like a thief in the night, man. Who has their shoes on their feet, who's ready to make haste, whose loins are girded, and who's sleep in the night, man. Right? Let's read that. 2nd Ezra chapter 14 and 10.
2nd Ezra chapter 14 and verse 10. For the world have lost its youth, and the times begin to wax old.
Right?
For the world is divided into 12 parts.
For the world, meaning the age. It's not talking about the planet Earth. The word world is going to the age of man. It's divided into 12 parts. You have 3 worlds in the Bible. Right? You have the elder world, you have the present world, and you have the world to come. Right now he's talking about the present world. Right? The world is divided into 12 parts. Go on.
For the world is divided into 12 parts, and the 10 parts of it are gone already, and half of a 10th part.
Right, which means what? During the time of Ezra, it was after 1030. Right? After 1030 during the time of Ezra. Now, what time was Ezra around? You brothers know? Around 450. We'll say 450. That's a good one, right? Around 450, right? BC. How many years back is that? That's almost 2,500. Almost 2,500 years ago, it was past 1030. Now, if you look at a clock, it's divided into what? 12 parts. And when it hits, even Esau has what? His doomsday clock. Now I believe this doomsday clock tells you it's 90 seconds. How many? It's 30 seconds. All praise to the Most High, man. All right, they moved it. You had 30 seconds, man. Brothers watching. It was 90, now it's 30. Right? So it's Esau's watching. And Jake is smoking the blunt. Watching the big game, man. And even Esau's watching his own destruction. Right, nevertheless, when that clock hits midnight, what's going to happen? Doomsday. The end of the world. Destruction will be at hand once those hands hit midnight. When did the Lord destroy the Egyptians? At midnight. What were the Israelites doing at midnight? What was the heathen doing? They were sleeping. Right? Go to the book of, you got something?
Let's go to the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 18 and verse 6. Right? Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 18 and verse 6. Right? And it's beautiful that we have all these families here from all over, Babylon the Great to come and keep this Passover. Right? We're in one consent to be watching together, waiting for the day of deliverance to come upon our people, just as our forefathers. Right? Let's bring that out.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 18 and verse 6. Of that night were our fathers certified afore, that assuredly known unto what oath.
So there was an oath made unto them that if they kept a certain ritual that the Lord commanded them to do, what's going to happen?
They had given credence, they might afterwards be of good cheer.
So they knew that something was going to happen that would bring good cheer upon our forefathers and foremothers in the ancient world. And what was that thing that brought good cheer? The destruction of our enemies, right? Let's read about some of the destruction that happened upon our enemies, right? Let's jump down to let's go to verse number 11. Verse number 10, start at number 10.
Verse 10, but on the other side, there sounded an ill according cry of the enemies, and a lamentable noise was carried abroad for children that were bewailed.
Right, this is Exodus, the 11th chapter, which we just read. So on one side, you had mirth, you had looking, and you had anxiousness, man. You were anxious to know what was going to happen. Right, Passover wasn't the time of, we was out here making music videos and things that our people like to do. We were nervous to see what was going to happen. Right. And on the other side, there was ill bewailment and crying and just all out hell going on, right? Keep reading, King.
The master and the servant were punished after one manner. And like as the king, so suffered the common person.
So just like the rest of the maids, right, and the servants, the Pharaoh had to go through the same thing, right? Let's see the amount of multitudes of death that happened upon the Egyptians.
So they altogether had innumerable days with one kind of death, neither were the living sufficient to bury them.
So it was so much death that the living in Egypt could not bury the dead. Now that's a great overthrow right there, man. And that's the same overthrow that's coming to Babylon the Great. Right? We can't lose patience. We can't sit here and get weary. Right? Start to close our eyes and the folding of the hand. What's going to happen? You're going to be caught up in the whirlwind that's coming to Babylon the Great. And how's the whirlwind coming? Jump down to jump down to 14.
Verse 14. For while all things were in quiet silence.
So when everybody in the world is asleep, right? Everybody in Babylon the Great is asleep right now, right? Nobody's up keeping the Passover unless you know the Lord, right? So it was great quiet.
And that night was in the midst of her swift course.
What happened?
Thine almighty word.
Who?
Thine almighty word.
Yahweh, right?
Leaped down from heaven out of thy royal throne as a fierce man of war into the midst of a land of destruction.
So the Lord came down from heaven and slayed the Egyptians firstborn, man. And that's what's coming to Babylon and to all these nations who had a hand in afflicting us. So this Passover isn't just about watching Babylon. This is watching for the deliverance for Israel to be on top again. This is watching to make sure that your garment is clean. Because everybody in here looks royal and beautiful, man. We got to continue this even further past the Feast of Unleavened Bread and the Passover. We got to continue to stay beautiful in this manner. Right, you got to get.
Let's go to Job chapter I can get the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17, and verse number 14.
Wisdom of Solomon 17 and verse 14.
Right?
But they sleeping.
What the Lord say?
But they sleeping.
Read.
The same sleep that night, which was indeed intolerable, and which came upon them out of the bottoms of inevitable hell.
Right, so when they were sleeping, man, hell came upon them, man. And the heathens are sleeping right now, man. I see everybody in this room awake. Everybody royal like the brother was going into, man. Everybody keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments. And we can't fall back and sleep, man. It's nothing to look back to, man. Now we're watching until the day of Yahushua. Read on.
Were partly vexed with monstrous operations.
Right, so while they're asleep, oh, hell was breaking loose. What monstrous operations? Read.
And partly fainted, their heart failing them.
What happened?
Their heart failing them.
Read.
For a sudden fear.
And that's what's going to happen to a lot of men that fall out of this truth. They're going to go back into the darkness, and their heart is going to fail them. They're going to fall back in the world, back into God knows what, man. We got to stay up in this thing, man. Spiritually, physically, mentally, our families, our wives, our children. Read.
For a sudden fear and not look forward came upon them.
Right, and they're not looking for that because they wasn't watching the whole time. That's why when you're watching, it's spiritual like brothers are going into, man. And we have to watch and be on fire for the day of the Lord. And a lot of times, what time is it now? 12? 12? A lot of brothers physically get tired around this time, huh? Eyes getting weary. If you find yourself getting weary, hey, this ain't the time, huh? You gotta fight to sleep. That's what it's about, man. It's set up like that in the spirit, man. You're nodding off, and if you're nodding off physically, you might nod off spiritually, man. Right? This is why the Passover runs late, man. Come. Go to Job 34 and 20. Fight to sleep. Job 30, and they didn't have no energy drinks back then, huh? There was no Red Bull. Give me the precept where Aaron had a Red Bull. Right, he had a latte, a vanilla latte with a blonde espresso, man. Right? They didn't have that, man. You had to physically fight the flesh. Right, so bring that up, Job 34 and 20.
Job chapter 34 verse 20. In a moment.
In a what?
In a moment.
Read.
Shall they die, and the people shall be troubled at midnight and pass away, and the mighty shall be taken away without hand.
But what is that talking about, man? It's talking about this place going down, huh? Read on.
For his eyes,
meaning the angels, those are the eyes of the Lord,
are upon the ways of man, and he seeth all his goings.
Read.
There is no darkness nor shadow of death where the workers of iniquity may hide themselves.
So you can try to hide yourself, but the Lord got a time for you to go out, man. And he said in a moment at midnight. Right? So like at midnight and pass away, and the mighty shall be taken away without hand. Same destruction, same time frame, same spirit at night. Go to 1 Thessalonians 5:1. First, if you find yourself falling asleep, and the lamb is still cooking, man. Oh, brothers, if I stay up and eat the lamb. You don't want to fall asleep and not partake of the Lord's body and blood. Right? Bring that out.
Come. 1 Thessalonians 5 and verse 1. But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you.
I don't have to explain this. You should know this, man. That's what he's telling the church. I don't have to do an in-depth breakdown on it. Go on.
For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night.
That's what he did to Pharaoh. Pharaoh was asleep, huh? And the Lord came like a thief in the night. Same time he's coming here, man. About midnight. Go on.
For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape.
Yeah, when they say, okay, well, we're going to stop fighting in Ukraine, right? We're going to stop World War III, right? Let's have a global pact of peace for the next 50 years. We want to see that, man. I want to see them do that, man. I want Russia, America, China, I want them to all get along right now and sign this big grand peace treaty, man, and do a live concert, man. Because we know right after that, all hell is going to break loose, man. Read on.
Ye are all the children of the light,
Right?
and the children of the day.
Read.
We are not of the night,
See, we are not of the night. Read.
nor of darkness.
Go on.
Therefore, let us not sleep.
Let us what?
Let us not sleep,
Read.
as do others,
As do others, like these Egyptians, man. Like the so-called white man. Like the Moabite man. Like the Ishmaelite man. Like our people that don't know the Lord, man. Let us not sleep as do others. Remember, the Lord said Passover is what? A night to be much observed, man. Of much watching. Let us not sleep as do others. Read.
but let us watch.
Let us what?
Let us watch.
Read.
And be sober.
Go on.
For they that sleep, sleep in the night, and they that be drunken are drunken in the night.
A lot of people are drunk in the night right now, man. Physically. Literally, they're drunk right now. Right? Hennessy, E&J, Grey Goose, right? Taylor Port, whatever they find. And people are high right now. People are on dope right now. Crack, right? Damn, meth. And any type of drug, man, that's out there nowadays, man. Bath sauce, K2, fentanyl, man. Molly. And then you got the servant to the Lord, man. Watching in the last days, man. All praise to Yahweh Shad, man. Let's go to Matthew chapter 26 and 36. Right? Matthew chapter 26 and 36.
Matthew chapter 26 and verse number 36.
Right?
Then cometh Yahweh Shai with them unto a place called Gethsemane, and saith unto the disciples, sit ye here while I go and pray yonder.
Now, this is after Yahushua ate the Passover. Yahushua already ate the Passover, right? He ate it with the 12 apostles. Now he's praying in the Garden of Gethsemane. Do brothers know what time Yahushua was praying in the Garden of Gethsemane? At what time? At midnight, man. At midnight. He already ate the Passover. And he went to pray at midnight in the Garden of Gethsemane. Right, now we're going to look up. Did you find it? Okay, that's right. Yaron, I was looking up. Let's read them.
And he took with him Peter and the two sons of Zebedee.
Now, it's like a Gethsemane in the Greek. It means an oil press. Right, an oil press. Right, that's spiritual. Read on.
And began to be sorrowful and very heavy. Then said he unto them, my soul is exceeding sorrowful, even unto death. Tarry ye here and watch with me.
And do what?
And watch with me.
So it's the exact same spirit, man. Of the New Testament and the Old Testament. You got people say, I don't like the God of the Old Testament. He's too mean. The God of the New Testament, he's the nice one. I choose him. It's the same God, man. Yahweh Shemel Shah, man. It ain't no, okay, the God of the Old Testament, he worked his shift. He worked day shift. Right? Then God, they got a swing shift. So the God of the New Testament, he clocked it. It don't work like that, man. Right? The exact same spirit. Read Matthew 26. Read that verse again, King. We're going to pull up that word watch in the Greek.
Matthew chapter 26 and verse number 38. Then said he unto them, my soul is exceeding sorrowful, even unto death. Tarry ye here and watch with me.
The Lord said, and watch with me, man. Because what was going to happen to Yahweh Shah? What was going to happen? Right, Judas and the men was going to betray him. Now, let's read this account. And they came, as we read this account, they came with the apostles like a thief in the night. They came in on Peter, John, and James like a thief in the night. Yahweh Shah was awake, and he knew it. Right? This teaches you, huh? Imagine being there. Take yourself out of Detroit right now and put yourself in Gethsemane with Yahweh Shah, man. And he's asking you, watch with me. Can you stay awake with me? Can you stay awake? My soul is sorrowful. I need you to stay awake, man. And imagine falling asleep, man. Imagine nodding off. Imagine doing it now. And the Lord is here right now. Give me Matthew 18 and 20. Right? Give me St. Matthew 18 and 20.
The book of St. Matthew, chapter 18, and verse number 20. For where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there am I in the midst of them.
What the Lord say?
There am I in the midst of
So
them.
Yahweh's here, man. The Lord said, tarry ye here and watch with me, man. Read on in Matthew the 26th chapter where you left off.
Verse 39. Matthew chapter 26 and verse number 39.
And Yahweh was exceeding sorrowful because he knew he was about to get put to death, like his brother said, man. Right? It tells you in Isaiah the 53rd chapter that he was a man acquainted with sorrows and acquainted with grief, man. If Yahweh was on the scene right now, they would call him, they would diagnose him. They would call him clinically depressed, man. They would give him all types of pills. Take this Tuesday, you gotta take this Thursday, you take this Friday and come back for your session, man. So that's the type of mentality that Yahweh had, the depression and the type of spirits that he was dealing with, man. All right, so he needed his apostles to be there with him at that time, man. Just like your brothers need you to be here with them, man. At this time of the night season, man. Right, go on.
Verse
39.
39. And he went a little further and fell on his face and prayed, saying, O my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt.
So Yahweh said, I don't want to do this, man. Right, but I'll do it if you want me to do it. Read on.
And he cometh unto the disciples and findeth them asleep.
And does what?
And findeth them asleep.
And findeth them asleep. Read.
And said unto Peter, what? Could ye now watch with me 1 hour?
Could you not watch with me 1 hour? Do you think if you fall asleep in the world now, the Lord is going to come tap you on the shoulder and say, what, you couldn't watch with me? No, what's going to happen to you? You're going to be destroyed, man. This is our warning right now, man. If you fall asleep and go back, the Lord not going to come say, what, Amos? You couldn't just watch with me 1 more hour? You couldn't read 3 more chapters? Pray 5 more times? Right? You couldn't do X, Y, and Z? You couldn't call on my name? This is our admonition right now. This is a night to be much observed. This is the night of the Passover. The same night in Matthew 26. It's the same night in Exodus chapter 12, man.
That's right. Right, read on. Watch and pray.
Do what?
Watch and pray.
Same Passover spirit. Read.
That ye enter not into temptation.
What?
The spirit indeed is
What the
willing.
Lord say?
The spirit indeed is willing.
But what?
But the flesh is weak.
But the what?
But the flesh is weak.
You gotta fight the flesh. That's another aspect of the Passover. Fighting the flesh and stand awake in the spirit, man. Not letting Satan overthrow you, vex you, tempt you. You fall out, give into temptations, lust, pride, slothfulness. Go to Proverbs chapter 19. Right? Proverbs, the 19th chapter. Go to verse 15.
Proverbs chapter 19 and verse number 15. Slothfulness casteth into a deep sleep, and an idle soul shall suffer hunger.
So the Lord is telling you how you get put to sleep. What word did the Lord use? Slothfulness. That's a way to get put to sleep, man. What's another word for slothfulness? Just laziness, man. Right? Not fighting in the spirit, man. Brothers know when you're not doing nothing, when you relax, you're going to fall asleep, man. When you put your legs up, you fold your arms. Take that in Proverbs the 6th chapter, man. Go to Proverbs chapter 6 real quick. 6 and 6.
Proverbs.
Yeah, you got brothers. Brothers go to work, man. You work them long hours. As soon as you get in, man, you take your shoes off, you sitting on the couch or you lay down, it's over, man. You sleep just like that, man. That's all it takes. That's on a physical level. Brothers do that on a spiritual level. I'm gonna just hit up a homeboy from back in the world, man. Or I'm gonna just entertain that phone call from this ungodly woman I know is Satan, man. I'm gonna just work on that Shabbat. I do need that extra money. That's you drifting off back into sleep, man. So read that.
Proverbs 6 and verse 6. Go to the ant, thou sluggard. Consider her ways and be wise. Which having no guide, overseer, or ruler, provide her meat in the summer.
Do brothers ever see ants taking a break? Do they get PTO? Unpaid time? No! Ants are always grinding, man. They work at night, man. Right, go on. And they work as a team. Read.
Provide her meat in the summer and gather her food in the harvest.
Read.
How long wilt thou sleep, O sluggard?
You got to check your spirit on the Passover. Are you falling asleep? Have you been drifting off back in the darkness? Have you been drifting off back into the world, man? Have you become lax in your reading? Lax in your studying? Lax in your prayers? Lax in checking on your brothers and sisters? Lax in guiding your household in righteousness, man? Lax in calling upon the name of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, man? Are you really falling asleep, man? Read on.
When wilt thou arise out of thy sleep?
What the Lord say?
When wilt thou arise out of thy sleep?
It sounds like we sleeping here. What the Lord say?
When wilt thou arise out of thy sleep?
Read it one more time.
When wilt thou arise out of thy sleep?
When wilt thou arise out of thy sleep? Go on.
Yet a little sleep.
All it takes is a little, man. I'm going to just close my eyes. That's what brothers always say. You sleep. No, I'm just closing my eyes. I'm just resting my eyes a little bit. Well, I'm just taking a cat nap. I'm up. I'm just closing my eyes. My eyes have tired. Got sun in my eye. Jake, you always got some type of excuse, man. Just say you want to go back to sleep, man. The Lord said, yet a little slumber. Read.
A little slumber.
Just a little bit. Go on.
A little folding of their hands to sleep. So shall their poverty come as one that travaileth, and die one as an armed man.
Go back to Matthew 26 chapter. Right? Matthew chapter 26 and read 42.
St. Matthew chapter 26 and verse number 42. He went away again the second time and prayed, saying, O my Father, if this cup may not pass away from me, except I drink it, thy will be done.
Read.
And he came and found them asleep again.
Found, because you might fall asleep, and the Lord can have mercy on you and kind of wake you up. Right? You could be drifting off back into the world, and the Lord can check you, man. He can check you by a brother. He can check you by your rib. He can check you by a dream. And then you might fall back asleep. Then the Lord can check you again. What the hell are you doing, man? Right? You may watch a video. The brother might cut you. Right? A brother might call you, say, oh, you been in the spirit? Damn, I have been in the spirit, man. Let me really examine myself. Right? So the Lord is showing you grace and grace and grace with the apostles, man. Fell asleep, you checked them. Fell asleep, checked them. Fell asleep, checked them. It's only so much time, man, before your eyes get too heavy. If you don't fight it, you eventually going to go to sleep, man. We all deal with that, man. I'm up. Give me 3 more minutes. Then you tap him 3 more minutes. All right, give me 5 more minutes. Now he got his shoes off, man. His socks off, man. Now you hear him snoring. Wait, then you kind of leave that brother alone, man. Oh, he's asleep. It's over, man. And then you kind of move on. So the Lord could warn you once, warn you twice, like he did the apostles. But read 43 again.
Come. And he came and found them asleep again, for their eyes were heavy.
Read.
And he left them.
And he what?
And he left them and went away again and prayed the 3rd time, saying the same words. Then cometh he to his disciples and said unto them, sleep on now, and take your rest.
What?
Behold, the hour is at hand.
The hour is at hand.
And the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners.
And that happened around midnight, man. And the apostles had to wake up and deal with that action, man. And guess what happened to the apostles during that time? All right, one chopped off Malchus here, Peter. Then they all fled. And they all fled from the Lord, man. Go to the book of St. Mark. Right, go to St. Mark chapter 13 and 31. Stay awake. That's what this is about. Stay awake. Fight the sleep. Bring that up.
St. Mark chapter 13 and verse number 31. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away.
Right?
But of that day and that hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels which are in heaven, neither the Son, but the Father. Right? Take ye heed, watch and pray.
Again, watch and pray.
For ye know not when the time is.
You don't know when it's going to go down, man. Right? It could be an EMP attack. It could be a false flag, and they could blame it on the Hebrew Israelites, man. What they call this, the black Hebrew Israelites? The BHI. Right? They did this to this political person, this celebrity. They did this to this building. And things are going to speed up, man. Right? Things are going to speed up. So go on.
For the Son of Man is as a man taking a far journey who left his house and gave authority to his servants.
So the Lord went back in the spirit world, gave authority to the men of the Lord. Read.
And to every man his work.
Every brother has their work you have to do to keep you occupied, man. Right? Every brother has their work. Your household, dealing with the nation, teaching on the highways and byways, exhorting your brother, loving your nation, loving your wife as you love yourself, teaching your children the laws, building yourself up in the spirit. Read.
And commanded the potter to watch.
The porter to watch. Read.
Watch ye therefore, for ye know not when the master of the house cometh at even.
At even. Even is what time? Right? We talk about this often. Sundown. But, okay, we have 4 watches right here. Even is the first watch, right? 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. That's the first watch of the night. Remember, in the ancient world, they had the night watchers. The watchmen. The watchmen rolled at night. Go to Song of Solomon, man. Right, 5 and 7. Every city had the night watchers, a.k.a. the watchmen. Right? So bring that up. So a watchman is a very, very spiritual name, man. Right? So bring that up.
Song of Solomon, chapter 5 and verse 7. The watchman.
The who?
The watchman.
The who?
The watchman.
The niggas.
The watchman.
The slothful.
The watchman.
The Egyptians.
The watchman.
The watchman.
The watchman that went about the city.
And brothers go about the city, man. Brothers be on campus marches at Detroit, Riverwalk, in Chicago. Where brothers teach at? The Bean. Where brothers teach at in Indiana? Downtown. Right? Where brothers teach at in Cleveland? Tower City. Brothers go about the city, man. You might see brothers at the Baltimore in the harbor, man. The watchmen that go about the city did what?
Found.
We found our people out there on drugs, lost. Some people just say, I don't even know why I'm out here. I just came to take a walk. I had to clear my mind. And we, hey brother, what's your nationality? Right? You got a minute for the Bible? So we find brothers through the Spirit. Read.
They smote me.
And then we smite them. Which means what? We break them down with the scriptures, man. We cut them up in righteousness. Right? We smite them spiritually. Go on.
They wounded me.
We wound them.
The keepers of the walls took away my veil from me.
Meaning we take away what blinds them. We take away that darkness away from them and we give them light. Right? Go on.
I charge you, O daughters of Jerusalem, if ye find my beloved, that ye tell him that I am sick of love.
Let's sit on that. So in the ancient world, you had watchmen that went out at night. Come? And guess what? They worked in different shifts. Yahweh Shah is giving you the different shifts. Go to Matthew chapter 13, Mark 13 again.
Mark chapter 13 and verse number 35. Watch ye therefore, for ye know not when the master of the house cometh. At even.
Even is the first watch of the watchman. That's 6 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Or at midnight.
Or at midnight, right? That's your 9 p.m. to 12 a.m. Go on.
Or at the cock crowing.
The cock crowing is from your 12 a.m. to your 3 a.m. Go on.
Or in the morning.
Or in the morning, your morning watch is your what? 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. Those are the 4 watches of the night. And Yahweh Shah could come in any watch of the night or in any shift. It's like you at work, your so-called supervisor could come in any moment, huh? What happens if you're on your phone? You snuck Keisha, huh? Right? You in the break room, man, doing God knows what, huh? Then you try to hurry up and try to act like it's over, man. Next thing you know, you fired, huh? And they bring you to HR. That's on a carnal, earthly low level. How much more on a spiritual level? Yahweh Shah coming, you caught without your loins girded, or your staff in your hand, or your shoes on your feet, man. Right? So go on.
Lest coming suddenly he find you sleeping.
Read.
And what I say unto you.
And what I say unto you, meaning to the disciples.
I say unto all.
I do what?
I say unto all.
No, it's not about us.
I say unto
It
all.
has nothing to do with us.
I say unto all. Watch.
Do what?
Watch.
The Lord said, watch. Watch. Watch over your spirit. Watch what's going on in the world. Watch and see if you're falling off. Watch and see how your household is being ran. Watch and see, again, if you're in a spirit of ready to leave at any given second, man. It tells you when the Lord told Lot to leave, Lot lingered, man. Lot was lingering. You got to be ready to go at any given. We got to be ready to go right now, man. If all hell broke loose right now, hey, we out, man. And we got to do what we got to do in the spirit and power of Yahweh Shah, man. And guess what? It's no woulda, shoulda, couldas at that moment, man. Damn, I should have fasted a little bit more. Damn, man, I thought about Riyadh. I was going to get right. Damn, I should have put it off. Man, I was really going to start doing the work, man, and really tell my job I'm not going to work this Shabbat. Damn, I don't know what made me wait. So ain't no woulda, shoulda, couldas, man, at midnight, man. At midnight, that's it, man. You better be ready to go with your staff in your hand, your shoes on your feet, and your loins girded. Come? Let's go back to Exodus, the 12th chapter. Go to verse 30. Exodus chapter 12 and verse 30.
Come. Exodus chapter 12 and verse number 30. And Pharaoh rose up in the night.
So Pharaoh was asleep, right? That's what the Lord is saying. Go on.
He and all his servants.
Everybody was asleep.
And all the Egyptians. And there was a great cry in Egypt, for there was not a house where there was not one dead.
All praises. Read on.
And he called for Moses and Aaron by night.
Because they was already up, huh? Right? It didn't take them by surprise. Like the Lord said to Thessalonians, we are not of the darkness nor of night, paraphrasing. Right? This stuff doesn't take us by surprise, man. We're already watching and seeing what's going on with Russia, with China, with the economy collapsing. What's the deal with the dollar now? For brothers that's watching. Everybody's ditching the dollar. Right? We're watching, man. So when the inflation gets up and interest rates and famines are looming, we already see that happening, man. Because we're watching.
Good.
Right, so read on. We're like Moses and Aaron in the spirit. Read.
Good. And he called for Moses and Aaron by night and said, rise up and get you forth from among my people, both ye and the children of Israel, and go serve the Lord as ye have said.
Read.
Also take your flocks and your herds, and ye as ye have said, and be gone, and bless me also.
Right, and bless me also. You got some nerve. What they say, the audacity. The audacity, man. You got some nerve, Pharaoh. Right? All the let my people goes. And all of the no's. But now you got the nerve out of your mouth and bless. Try to sneak that in there. And bless me also, man. And hell with Pharaoh, man. Right, let's read on.
And the Egyptians were urgent upon the people.
So they pressed them to leave. Go on.
That they might send them out of the land in haste.
And what?
That they may send them out of the land in haste.
Read.
For they said, we be all dead men.
We be all dead men. All hell broke loose, man. And we had to be out in haste. And what? Oh, I gotta go find my shoes. Oh, where's my staff at? Right, let me gird my loins up. Go on.
And the people took their dough before it was leavened, their knead being throws, being bound up in their clothes upon their shoulders, and the children of Israel did according to the word of Moses, and they borrowed of the Egyptians jewels of silver and jewels of gold and raiment.
Read.
And the Lord gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they lent unto them such things as they required.
So what does that mean we spoiled them? What's another word for spoiled? Robbed them, huh? I want that, that look good, that's my son. That look good on my rib. I want that for my son, and that go with my daughter, huh? That's what that means. They lent us such things as we required, huh? Kick the door down, give me all of it, huh? That's how the Lord get down, huh? Like, that's not on your Easter Sunday. You put on Sunday best, and you got to watch the Ten Commandments. The Lord they don't break down how we robbed the Egyptians, man. Right? We took whatever we wanted, man. Read that again. At 36.
Exodus 12 and verse number 36. And the Lord gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they lent unto them such things as they required, and they spoiled the Egyptians.
And they did what?
And they spoiled the Egyptians.
And we robbed the Egyptians. Right? We're going to do the same thing to these heathen when you read Ezekiel, the 39th chapter, man. Right? But read on, King.
And the children of Israel journeyed from Ramses to Succoth, about 600,000 on foot that were men beside children.
Now, when you look up the journey from Ramesses to Succoth, it says it's over 100 miles. 100 miles. Now, Yardan, you can look that up if you want to, man. Or brothers, you can look it up, man. Over 100 miles. So they were up all night. Then they had to leave in haste. Then he had to walk miles and miles and miles. And guess what they didn't do? They didn't sleep. They didn't faint. That's the spirit our forefathers was in, man. Could you really get up and walk 100 miles right now if you had to, man? Oh, let me check into the hotel. I'm at the Airbnb. What's checkout time? All right, I ain't changed my shoes. I got my dress shoes on. All right, my garment. Should I put my tennis shoes on, my Jordans. Right? You got a yard done? Ramesses to Succoth. Right? We did the research earlier. Some scholars say 115, some say 150. It's over 100 miles, man. Could you really leave right now and travel 100 miles and fall hell broke loose right now? And you was up all night and you couldn't faint. Because guess who was coming right behind you? The Egyptians. They was on your heels, man. So if you fell in the way, it was over. It ain't no time to faint, man. There wasn't no time for falling behind. There wasn't no time for, hold on, let me go get this from my house, man. At those days, go to Matthew 24 and 13 real quick. 14. Matthew 24 and 14.
Say Matthew chapter 24 and verse 14.
Right?
And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come.
Right? So we're teaching this gospel, and then shall the end come. Go on.
When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet.
So when you see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, who's the modern day abomination of desolation? Who? Esau. The Romans. The modern day Romans. Edom. The children of Seir. The devil. the dragon, the beast, the hypocrite, the bloody man, the murderer, the evil man, the serpent, the proud, the ungodly, the wretched, the abominable, the dragon, the thief, the cursed, the beast. We go on and on with this devil, man. You got a lot of names in the Bible. Right? You got a lot of names, a lot of aliases, like Uriah said. A lot of aliases, man, that he goes by. Now bring that up, Yaron.
It's across the Ramses. It's 120 miles.
See that? 120 miles. Right? According to Rashad, that's one of the scholars, the distance between Ramesses and Succoth is 110 miles. That's a long journey right there. That's a long journey, man. Stand awake. Stand on your feet. Moving from A to B, man. You've been up all night. Con? Let's go back. Go to Exodus chapter 14. Right? Let's go to Exodus the 14th chapter now. You can start at 1 and we're going to jump down.
Exodus chapter 14 and verse 1.
Right?
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, that they turn and encamp before Pi-ha-Herod, between Migdol and the sea, over against Baal-Zebub, before it shall ye encamp by the sea.
So he's telling them, I want you to encamp now by the Red Sea. Go on.
For Pharaoh will say of the children of Israel, they are entangled in the land, the wilderness has shut them in.
Read.
And I will harden Pharaoh's heart, that he shall follow after them, and I will be honored upon Pharaoh and upon all his hosts, that the Egyptians may know that I am the Lord, and they did so.
The Lord said, I'm going to put the spirit on Pharaoh to take his men and pursue you after you just left Egypt. Go on.
And it was told the king of Egypt that the people fled, and the heart of Pharaoh and of his servants was turned against the people, and they said, Why have ye done this, that we have let Israel go from serving us?
Why do we let the Israelites go free? Read.
And he made ready his chariot and took his people with him. And he took 600 chosen chariots.
He did what?
He took 600 chosen chariots.
How many men about to die?
He took 600 chosen chariots.
Read.
And all the chariots of Egypt.
Oh, he took his whole army out there. Right? Go on.
And captains over every one of them.
Read.
And the Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, and he pursued after the children of Israel, and the children of Israel went out with a high hand.
Read.
But the Egyptians pursued after them all the horses and chariots of Pharaoh and his horsemen and his army, and overtook them, encamping by the sea beside Pi-hahiroth, before Baal-Zebub. And when Pharaoh drew nigh, the children of Israel lifted up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians marched after them, and they were so afraid.
And they were what?
And they were so afraid.
And they're so afraid. Now this is happening at nighttime right now. The Egyptians are overtaking them at night, huh? Read on.
And the children of Israel cried out unto the Lord.
And they cried out unto the Lord. This is going to happen again, man. At midnight, who's going to be pursuing us like a madman? Esau. So what are we going to have to do? We have to cry to the Lord, man. Let's read on.
And they said unto Moses, because there were no graves in Egypt.
See, you can't have this type of mentality. Right? We're about to read about it. Read on.
Because there were no graves in Egypt, hast thou taken us away to die in the wilderness? Wherefore hast thou dealt thus with us to carry us forth out of Egypt? Is not this the word that we did tell thee in Egypt, saying, let us alone, that we may serve the Egyptians? For it had been better for us to serve the Egyptians than that we should die in the wilderness.
So that's madness right there. He said, I'd rather die a slave, man. You should just let me be a slave to the Egyptians. Right? Read on.
And Moses said unto the people, fear ye not, stand still and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will shew to you today. For the Egyptians whom ye have seen today, ye shall see them again no more forever.
Read.
The Lord shall fight for you.
What the Most High say?
The Lord shall fight for you.
What did Yahweh Shai say?
The Lord shall fight for you.
Read.
And ye shall hold your peace.
And what?
And ye shall hold your peace.
The Lord shall fight for you in the night season, and ye shall hold your peace. Read on.
And the Lord said unto Moses, wherefore criest thou unto me? Speak unto the children of Israel that they go forward.
Read.
But lift thou up thy rod and stretch it out thine hand over the sea and divide it, and the children of Israel shall go on dry ground through the midst of the sea.
Read.
And behold, I will harden the hearts of the Egyptians, and they shall follow them, and I will give me honor upon Pharaoh and upon all his hosts, upon his chariots, and upon his horsemen.
Now jump to 21.
Verse 21. And it came between the camp.
No, Exodus 14 to 21.
Verse number 21. And Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and the Lord caused the sea to go back with a strong east wind all that night, and made the sea dry land, and the waters were divided.
Right.
And the children of Israel went into the midst of the sea upon the dry ground, and the waters were a wall unto them on their right hand and on their left.
So we're going through the Red Sea. You got to imagine this, man. You got to visualize the Lord delivering us and us going through the Red Sea. Come. Read on.
And the Egyptians pursued and went in after them.
Now they chasing us while we in the Red Sea. And if you've seen movies like The Prince of Egypt or The Ten Commandments, they tell you what happens, man. Right? Use your imagination. Right? Go on.
And the Egyptians pursued and went in after them to the midst of the sea, even all Pharaoh's horses, his chariots, and horsemen. And it came to pass that in the morning watch.
That in the what?
In the morning watch.
In the what?
In the morning watch.
So now you have the morning watch. So the first 4 watches we gave you, those were watches during the time of the New Testament of the Roman Empire. You also have watches that were set up by the children of Israel. Come. Right? From sunset to 10 p.m. That's your first watch. 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. is your second watch. And your last watch, or your morning watch, is from 2 a.m. until sunrise. So what time is this happening? Anywhere between 2 in the morning till the sun comes up. What is Israel doing? Watching. Staying awake during the 4th watch of the night, man. So they never sleep, man. In adversity, in affliction, when the enemy is pursuing them, our forefathers are always up, always watching, always in the faith. Come? Let's read on. And who's watching over us? The Lord, man. The Lord is watching over us during this time. It's Yahweh Ba'Shem Shah during the watching, man. Real quick, go to Psalms chapter 121. Right? Psalms 121. The Lord is the ultimate watchman, man. Right? So bring that up. Psalms 121 and 1. Because it said in the morning watch, the Lord did this, man. Bring that up.
Psalm chapter 121 and verse 1.
Right?
I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber.
What the Lord Lord say,
he that keepeth thee will not slumber.
What's another word for keep? Watch. He that watches over you will not slumber. Which means we shouldn't be slumbering, huh? Read.
Behold, he that keepeth
He
Israel
that watches over Israel
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
shall neither what?
Shall neither slumber nor sleep.
What do y'all say?
Shall neither slumber nor sleep.
He that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep, huh? And the Lord watched over you, huh? That's why he asked you in the New Testament, but you can't watch with me 1 hour. I did this for you 4,000 years ago, huh? You can't do it with me for 1 hour. I was up all night, huh? Killing Egyptians. I was in the cloud. I parted the Red Sea for you, huh? I delivered you in the morning watch. You can't watch with me 1 hour? Read that again.
Psalm 121 and verse 4.
That's why this is a night to be much observed of the Lord, man. Right? Read that again.
Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Shall neither what?
Shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Read.
The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore.
You see that? And from and even forevermore. Right now it tells you Isaiah, the Lord doesn't faint, man. And he's not weary, man. Are we made in the image of the Lord? Are we created in his likeness, man? So if we are made in the image of the Most High's eternity, we can't slumber, man. We can't sleep during these days. Go back to Exodus chapter 12 and 1. Right?
Exodus chapter 12 and verse number 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, this month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you.
Right? Speak
ye unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, in the 10th day of this month.
No, Salaki, Kim, where you at? What verse you at?
3.
Okay, read on.
Go. Speak ye unto the congregation of Israel, saying, in the 10th day of this month, they shall take to them every man a lamb.
Right, now jump to verse 10.
Go. Verse 10. And ye shall let nothing of it remain until the morning.
So you have to eat your lamb. Right? There is no lamb, like the Amos said last week, I believe. No lamb to go plates. Right? No lamb leftovers. You take to work in the break room, huh? Right, so go on.
And ye shall let nothing of it remain until the morning.
Right.
And that which remaineth of it until the morning, ye shall burn with fire.
Read.
And thus shall ye eat it.
And thus shall ye eat it.
With your loins girded.
With your what?
With your loins girded.
Go to the book of St. Luke, chapter 12 and 35. Yeah, now can you put up a picture of loins girded? Right? Brothers, look it up, man. So take your phone out. Type in loins girded. Right? Hebrew loins girded or Bible loins girded. And look on the image and see what it means. Right? You see that? So that means you're ready for action, man. You're ready to go. You're ready for war on a physical level. That's what it means to literally gird your loins. Right? So read that.
St. Luke.
The Lord told you to do that physically, but he expects you to do that what? Spiritually. We're going to read that. Luke 12 and 45.
St. Luke chapter 12 and verse number 35. Let your loins be girded about.
Does that mean, is that literal? No, man. It's the same spirit of watching. Same spirit of the Passover. Same night season. Don't just have your loins girded on the 14th day at even. Have your loins girded all the time, huh? Read on.
And your lights burning.
And your what?
And your lights burning.
Meaning keep that fire burning, huh? Keep that fire burning. Keep that oil in your lamp, huh? Stay in the spirit, man. Fight the flesh. Read.
And ye yourselves like unto men that wait for their Lord,
That wait for their Lord,
when he will return from the wedding, that when he cometh and knocketh, they may open unto him immediately.
right?
Blessed are those servants whom the Lord, when he cometh, shall find watching.
Shall find what?
Shall find watching.
That's who the Lord is looking for. The men who are still watching. Because a lot of men won't be girded, right? After the 14th day at even. Okay, it's the Passover, I put my girdle on. It's not just talking about putting a girdle on, man. It's deeper than that. Remember, the law is physical, but it shows you how to move in the spirit, man. Everything in the law shows you how to move in the spirit. The law is a shadow. Give me that in Hebrews 10:1, man. It's a shadow of good things to come, man. Every high holy day is spiritual. The Feast of Tabernacles is spiritual. Right? The Day of Atonement is spiritual. The harvest. All of these things have a spiritual meaning behind it. So again, as we keep the Passover, you got your girdle on, your staff in your hand, your shoes on your feet. Keep in mind that this is in the spirit too, man. And it's not for one night. This is until this place go down. You got to be ready every day. What they say, you stay ready. You don't got to get ready, man. And that's the spirit you want to be in. So bring that out, King Baba Show.
Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 1. For the law, having a shadow of good things to come.
See, the law is just a shadow of good things to come. Read.
And not the very image of those things, can never, with those sacrifices which they offer year by year, continually make the comers thereunto perfect.
So the law is just a shadow, right? The law is a shadow of things to come. When you read about particular sacrifices, feast days, it all adds up to who? Yahushua, man. It all goes back to Yahushua at the end of the day anyway, man. Right? So again, your loins being girded, meaning at any given second, you got to be ready to fight, man. Ready to make moves. Ready to go. Ready to work. Let your loins be girded about and your lights burning. Go to 1 Peter 1 and 13. 1 Peter 1 and 13.
1 Peter chapter 1 and verse number 13. Wherefore, gird up your loins of your mind.
No, gird up your Passover garment.
Gird up the loins of your mind.
What is the Passover teaching us to do?
Gird up the loins of your mind.
Now it's time to gird up the loins of your mind. Like the brother said, every brother and sister, it looks beautiful out here tonight, man. Come? And that has to be on a spiritual level too. Think about the leaven that you remove, man. That teaches you to do what? Remove sin from you, man. Brothers looking at all of the ingredients. Sodium bicarbonate, monosulfite, so-and-so, man. All types of ingredients you put in at work just to watch and make sure that you don't have leaven in your house, man. As much effort as you do that on a physical level, you should do that on the spiritual level, man. As much effort as you put to have your Passover garment to be beautiful and glorious, your spiritual garment should be beautiful and glorious. As much effort as you have your loins girded about right now, your loins should be girded about spiritually. So read that again, 1 Peter 1 and 13.
Wherefore, gird up the loins of your mind.
Now it's time to gird up the loins of your mind. Right? To fight these spirits in the spiritual world, man. Cast out these demons. Call upon the name of the Lord. Meditate on the works of the Lord, man. That's what it means to gird up the loins of your mind. Don't give your mind, go to Wisdom of Solomon 4 and 8. Don't give your mind over to the world, man. Your mind always has to be in go mode, fight mode, action mode, ready mode. You can't be daydreaming and thinking about what you did in high school, man. The glory days. You're looking up your yearbook from 1993, sipping your yan-yan, playing KRS-One. Right? We're not in that season, man. All right? Close the room. Close the door. And it's me time. and you pull out all your trophies, man. Right from high school, man, and just reminisce. That's not having your mind girded, man. You done let loose your girdle, man. Right? So bring that up real quick, Baba Kashab.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4, verse 8. For honorable age is not that which standeth in length of time, nor that is measured by the number of years.
Right?
But wisdom is the gray hair unto men.
What the Lord say?
But wisdom is the gray hair unto men.
There's a lot of gray hair in this room right now, huh? Wisdom is the gray hair unto men. Because you can be an old man and be a what? Be a fool. You can be a fool. You can be a young man and be wise. And have the wisdom that old man should have. Right? So go on.
And an unspotted life is old age.
Read.
He pleased Yahweh and was beloved of him, so that living among sinners he was translated.
Go on. Now this is talking on one level about Enoch. On another level, it's about the elect. Go on.
Yea, speedily was he taken away, lest that wickedness should alter his understanding or deceit beguile his soul.
So you playing against hell out here, man. Every day you dealing with wickedness coming your way. And deceit to beguile your soul. So you always have to have your mind focused in His truth, man. That's what the Lord always says, be what? Be sober. Be sober-minded. Because it's easy for your mind to drift back off into the world, man. Right? The Lord said, from the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaking. You can know what type of spirit a brother's in based off what he said out of his mouth. Because what he said out of his mouth, that's what's on his mind. If all he do is talk about women, gambling, damn, what else? I don't know. Weed, God forbid, man. Video games. Right. That's all that's on that brother's mind, man. Right? So your mind has to be girded about, ready to fight. Always ready to get into the scriptures, man. Always ready to pray. Always ready to study, man. Right? So go on. Because you're dealing with the devil right now, man. Read on.
Verse 12. For the bewitching of naughtiness doeth obscure things that are honest.
So the bewitching of naughtiness doth obscure things that are honest. Which means what? Sin blinds you. Right? Sin blinds the truth. Go on.
And the wandering of concupiscence.
And the what?
And the wandering of concupiscence.
What is the wandering of concupiscence? Concupiscence on a physical level. Can you pull up the definition of concupiscence, Baba Kashar? So brothers can have that. Right? Concupiscence. I've never heard that word in the world, man. Oh, brother, you dealing with concupiscence. You ever heard that, Kabash? No. No, man. Oh, that's lasciviousness, brother. They're not telling you that, man. Right? So bring that out, King Baba Kashar.
Concupiscence, a strong sexual desire. Synonyms: lust, passion, lewdness, solicitude, saliciousness, carnality.
Hold on, get that.
Carnality.
What that say?
Carnality.
That's the spirit, man. What's another word for being carnal? Fleshly. So you could be spiritually dealing with concupiscence. You can deal with it physically. You got people, you got creeps and weirdos, man. People undressing people with their eyes when they see them and they thinking about you and, fat, all types of weird, bugged out thoughts, man. Yeah, man, they go home, they thinking about you. Yeah, people times and creeps, man. That's on a physical level, but you have that on a spiritual level. You have spiritual concupiscence, meaning you're thinking about the flesh. You're thinking about the world. You're thinking about this whore, Babylon the Great, man. And what it would be like to have one more year in America. You got brothers say, let me have one more wicked day. Right? We've heard that a lot of times, man. Even at the harbor. Just give me one, I'm gonna smoke, this is my last one. Or I'm gonna smoke this last pack, then I'm done, man. Give me one more year to be wicked. Got a brother saying, I've been in the truth 6 years. I'm on my Sabbath year, my year of rest. Yeah, he said I'm on my I put in my 6 years, I'm on my year of rest. You got the land Sabbath, you got the truth Sabbath. So he took 1 year off from the truth, he's going to come back the next year. Guess what happened to that brother? He didn't come back the next year, man. Right? You can't take a year off, man. Right?
Let's go to Colossians chapter 2 and verse 6. A true sabbatical, man. That's nice.
The book of Colossians, chapter 2 and verse number 6. As ye have therefore received the Mashiach Yahushua, the Lord, so walk ye in him, rooted and built up in him, and established in the faith as ye have been taught, abounding therein with thanksgiving.
This is another way of being girded, man. Walking in the spirit of Yahushua. Right? Reading the accounts of Yahushua. Reading the accounts of our forefathers. Being built up and rooted in the things that you were taught. And the way you're taught is by reading more and more and more. And getting that understanding, right?
Verse 8. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit.
That's that spiritual concupiscence, man. Like the brother said, they start giving you spiritual lustly things, man. You start thinking about fleshly things to fulfill the lust, man. That's desiring you to keep looking back in the world, man. We say what it is, man. But you gotta keep watch. You have to keep watch, man. Because as soon as you look back, they say, remember Lot's wife. Right, finish that off, okay?
Come. After the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Hamashiach.
That's right, that's right. So that's what it means. Go to Acts 12 and 8. Actually, go back to Exodus 12 and 11. So have your loins girded, meaning have your mind. Right? Spiritually now have your mind girded about with truth. Ready to fight concupiscence. Fight those evil thoughts, man. Right? Fight those demons that try to pop in your mind and tell you to go off, man. Take a day off. You worked hard this week. Just take a day off from the truth. Right? God is merciful. Right? You worked hard this week, brother. You deserve that, man. You deserve to take this day off, man. Just kick your feet up and just relax all day. Don't think about the Lord, man. You've been thinking about him too much. Right? You gotta fight those thoughts, man. You don't really need to pray. Just check your phone. Just get up. But yeah, you know you woke up. You're supposed to pray to the Most High. Just get on Instagram, man. Get on Snapchat or Twitter real quick, man. Put that first. You're too tired to get down and pray. Right? Look at the floor is so far down there. You gotta fight that spirit, man. Right. No, put my damn phone down and get up and call upon the name of the Lord, man. I don't feel like going to camp, man. Right? Just tell the brothers you're running late. Right? You'll be out tomorrow. You had a long week. Right? You work 35 hours. Right? You gotta fight that flesh, man. Fight those thoughts that try to send you back into darkness, man. So now, go back to Exodus 12 and 11.
Exodus chapter 12 and verse number 11. And thus shall ye eat it, with your loins girded.
With your what?
With your loins girded.
Read.
Your shoes on your feet.
Your what?
Your shoes on your feet.
What does it mean to have your shoes on your... What do you do with your shoes on your feet? You ready to go on a journey. You ready to make haste and flee. Go to 2 Ezra 14 and 15, huh? You're ready to flee from these times. Right? To separate from this system, huh? Bring that up, 2 Ezra 14 and 15.
2 Ezra chapter 14 and verse number 15. And set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee.
That's what that means, let your loins be girded. Set aside those carnal thoughts. Right, go on.
And haste thee to flee from these times.
To do what?
To flee from these times.
To do what?
To flee from these times.
Or to flee from Egypt.
To flee from these times.
Just like in ancient Egypt, man. You have to be ready at the drop of the dime to flee out of Egypt. With your physical shoes on your feet, man. Now you have to have your spiritual shoes on your feet. Go to Ephesians, the 6th chapter. Tell you that, man. Your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Ephesians chapter 6 and 15. So now have your spiritual shoes on to be ready to make this journey, man. The Lord said in that day, make you ready to the battle, be even as pilgrims upon the earth, man. Again, our forefathers walked over 100 miles, man. From 2 a.m., it was around anywhere between 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. And they were watching. Shoes in their feet, man.
It takes a lot of strength to walk 100 miles. And I did a little bit of research. This man walked 100 miles, and this is what happened to him. Right? This is the long-term effects. He says, I was also at risk of significantly damaging my muscles and joints when running an undulating trail. It's actually the downhill sections that cause the most damage. And of course, you imagine that up, down a little, slopes, and all their muscles are being used. Right? When you walk towards the Lord and follow Him, I mean, all your muscles have to be used. Not one limb can be doing nothing. The leg can't be doing nothing. I mean, your whole body has to be moving and chasing after the Most High. And that's deep. And it also says this as well. There's an emerging slide here. Here it is. But there's more to muscle damage than superficial discomfort. It also causes a generalized inflammatory response in the body, triggering a transient suppression of the body's immune system. So, you go through hell, chasing the Lord. But it's beautiful, because it chastises you. It makes you stronger at the end of the day. And like the old saying is, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And that's in the scriptures.
That's right, man. That's a good point, man. Right? So you're following after the Lord with your shoes on your feet, man. Go to Ephesians chapter 6 and 15.
Ephesians.
And like Yaradan's brought, it's not going to be easy, man. It's not going to be a 3-step walk. Okay, 2-step. You might be on this journey for years, man. Right? So bring that up.
Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 15. And your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace.
Read.
Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked.
So the Most High said, have your feet what? Shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace, man. Have your loins girded, your shoes on your feet. Have your mind ready, focused, sober, dialed in, man. You have people that play sports, man. Brothers play sports, man. When it's fourth quarter, when it's game on the line, you got certain athletes that just dialed in, man. They have the crowd trying to get them out of whack, man. You got people calling them out their name from the crowd, throwing stuff at them. But those athletes, they dialed in, man. Right? They're not giving heed to the audience. Sometimes they're not even listening to the coach, man. They just dialed in. Their mind is focused, man. They're thinking 3 plays ahead, what they're going to do if they go right, if they go left. Right? Ask W about Detroit, man. So that's the spirit that athletes have, man. They have a spirit to always be focused at any given second. Come? And that's the spirit that you have to have in this truth, man. It's crunch time. It's go mode, man. It's fourth quarter. It's 10 seconds left on the clock, man. Your mind has to be focused. Right? Bring that up. Ephesians 6 and 15 one more time.
Ephesians.
And then you got guys, when it's time to get in the game, where's my helmet at? Where's my gloves? He's not ready, man. You want to get this guy, put him in a football game, he can't find his helmet, man. He took his cleats off. He went to the bathroom. And that guy's not fit for the championship round, man. Right? These guys that they're on the court for the basketball, they think they're never going to get in, man. Coach tell them to get in. They're taking all day to take their warm-ups off. They're looking for their shoes, and they're not ready, man. You think about that analogy, if that helps. Always be ready to get in the game, man. Always be ready to take that shot, man. Right? Always be ready to make that decision. So read that, King.
Ephesians 6 and 15. And your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace.
Now go to Acts 12 and 8. Go to Acts chapter 12 and 8. It's always go time, man. Acts 12 and 8.
Acts chapter 12 and verse number 8.
Right?
And the angel said unto him.
Now this is what happened to Peter. Peter got locked up in prison. Remember, James just got what with the sword? He got slew with the sword by Herod. Now, Herod took Peter around the time of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, right, to do the Jews a pleasure. Now, let's see what happened, Acts 12 and 8, and see the spirit that we have to be in.
And the angel said unto him, gird thyself.
Do what?
Gird thyself.
Do what?
Gird thyself.
Read.
And bind on thy sandals.
And do what?
And bind on thy sandals.
And bind on thine sandals. This happened when? Like a thief in the night. He didn't know, man. The angel came down, said, I'm busting you out of prison. Right? Gird yourself up. Bind on your sandals. Read.
And so he did. And he said unto him, cast thy garment about thee.
Do what?
Cast thy garment about thee.
Cast thy garment. You might have an old garment on, man. You might have something from the world on. You might have wicked thoughts, particular sins, people that you dealt with, man. You got to cast that behind you, man. And do what?
And follow me.
And do what?
And follow me.
And do what?
And follow me.
Read.
And he went out and followed him, and was not that it was true, which was done by the angel, but thought he saw a vision.
That's right. Go on.
When they were past the first and the second war, they came unto the iron gate that led into the city, which opened to them out of its own accord.
That's it on that. Right? So the point is, Peter was what? Always what? He was ready, man. He didn't say, I don't know what to do. Let me think about it. Immediately, girded himself, shoes on his feet, cast about his garment, and he followed the Lord, man. Go to Genesis chapter 32 and 10. It also says you have to have your staff in your hand. Your staff is not just something in the ancient world that you hit people with, man. Right? Your staff is used for your journeys. Right? For your walking, for your traveling, for your sojourning. Bring that up. Genesis 32 and 10.
God. Genesis chapter 32 and verse 10. I am not worthy of the least of all the mercies and of all the truth which thou hast shewed unto thy servant, for with my staff.
For what?
For with my staff.
So our forefathers had staff. So with my staff,
I passed over this Jordan.
I passed over Jordan, man. Like we passed through the Red Sea with our what? With our staff in our hand. Right, go on.
And now I am become two bands.
So Jacob said, I became two bands. So the point of the matter is your staff was also used for your journeys and your travels. Right? Go to Exodus 21 and 19 to prove that again. Right?
Exodus
21
chapter
and 19.
21 and verse number 19. If he rise again and walk abroad upon his
So
staff,
your staff was used for your walk, for your journey. Read.
then shall he that smote him be quit. Only he shall pay for the loss of his time and shall cause him to be thoroughly healed.
Right, so that's the law. Right? Now the point of the matter is go back to Exodus chapter 12 and 10. Right? Read that one more time. 12 and 10.
Exodus chapter 12 and verse number 10.
Because we're about to eat the Passover shortly. Con? We're going to have our staff on our head. Con?
God.
Our loins are going to be girded. Con?
God.
Shoes on our feet. Con?
God.
That's physical. When you eat the Passover, think about it spiritually and what it means in these days and the days that draw nigh. The days of evil, the days of midnight, the days when it's time to flee from this world, man. Read that.
God. Exodus chapter 12 verse 10. And ye shall let nothing of it remain until the morning, and that which remaineth of it until the morning ye shall burn with fire.
Read.
And thus shall you eat it.
And what?
And thus shall you eat it.
Read.
With your loins girded.
With your loins girded,
your shoes on your feet.
your shoes on your feet,
And your staff in your hand.
and your staff in your hand.
And ye shall eat it in haste.
And what?
And ye shall eat it in haste.
Ain't no taking your time, man. Read.
It is the Lord's Passover.
Go to the book of Matthew chapter 24 and 14. Let's get a few more. We wind it down. Right? We read this before. Actually, read 15 again.
Matthew chapter 24 and verse 15.
So now, spiritually, as Jacob's trouble comes in and the destruction comes at midnight, brothers be ready, man. The Lord is telling you. Read that.
Come.
Yeah, you got a lot, Slock, you got a lot going on, man. You got all of these black Hebrew Israelite propaganda being pushed out there. You got these different political factions and Southern Poverty Law Center and all this hate group talk and hate speech talk and all types of madness, man. So the days of us being able to come together hundreds and hundreds deep, you know, they beginning to wax old, man. And the days of trouble are at hand. So as we keep this Passover again, think about the mirth and the brotherhood we have, enjoy it, but also think about, again, the spirit that we have to be in during the evil days. Come? And that's what Yahweh Shah is about to tell you about. So let's read that. 24:15.
St. Matthew, chapter 24, verse number 15. When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place. Whoso readeth, let him understand.
Right, you have one abomination of desolation that was done by who? What empire? The Greeks. By what man? Antiochus Epiphanes the fourth. You had another abomination of desolation done by who? The Romans. What year? 70 AD. Who was the general? Titus and Vespasian. You have another abomination of desolation coming. Done by, again, the same people, the so-called white men. The first two were on physical temples. What's the modern day temple now? Us, we're the temple. We're the altar. So they're going to try and attempt to overthrow the temple of the Lord, man. So read on.
Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains.
Do what?
Flee into the mountains.
So the Lord said you have to be ready to flee, man. Go on. Now, back in the ancient world, they fled into different parts of the land of Ham, certain parts of Mesopotamia, certain parts of Eastern Africa. Now, when the Lord says flee into Judea, it's talking about succor, right? Refuge, right? Go on.
Come. Let him.
Or it's like you flee into the mountains, right? Read on.
Come. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house.
So you gotta be ready to go, man. And what if you don't have your shoes on your feet? What if your loins not? What if your mind is in the world? What if your mind isn't girded about with truth? And all hell break loose, man. And you're thinking about drifting off in the world, man. And you're back in some club on a Shabbat. You're not going to make it, man. The Lord is telling you it can go down any minute, man. What if you don't have your staff in your hand to help you on that journey? What if you're not spiritually girded with your garment on? Give me that real quick in Revelation 16 and 15, man. Because you're not going to be able to look back and go back. You have to take what you have right now in the spirit and take that to push you on your journey. Revelation 16 and 15.
Revelation chapter 16 and verse number 15. No. Behold, I come as a thief.
I do what?
I come as a thief.
Read.
Blessed is he that watcheth.
Blessed is he that watcheth.
And keepeth his garment.
And does what?
And keepeth his garment.
You got to keep your staff in your hand. Keep your loins girded. We're going to keep talking about it. Keep your shoes on your feet. Keep your garment on, man. Spiritually. Blessed is he that watcheth, just like the Passover. Just like Yahweh Shah asked you to watch during the Passover with the apostles, man. He said, what? Could you not watch with me 1 hour? Blessed is he that watcheth and what?
And keepeth his garments.
Lest what?
Lest he walk naked and they see his shame.
And they see his shame. Naked meaning what? In sin. Now again, go back to that, King. In Matthew 24 chapter.
Matthew chapter 24 and verse number 18. Neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be.
So, days of evil draw nigh, man. The Lord said the days that are coming on the earth are going to be worse than 70 AD. Worse than the transatlantic slave trade. Worse during the time of Antiochus Epiphanes IV, man. Brothers understand that? Let's read on. So this truth is serious, man. This isn't a game. Right? We got to count the cost, man. The Passover wasn't a game 4,000 years ago, man. Like Amos said, they was anxious, man. Waiting. Nervous. Trying to figure out what's going to happen. Are they going to make it? That's a matter of life and death 4,000 years ago, man. Yahushua, same thing. Yahushua wasn't playing no games in the garden, man. Right? That was a matter of life and death. He said, my soul is exceeding sorrowful. Even unto what? Even unto death, man. So the days of the Passover are heavy days. Solemn days. Having your loins girded is a solemn thing. Having your shoes on your feet is a solemn thing. Having your staff in your hand is a solemn thing. Eating in haste is a solemn thing. It teaches you to be at any given second or any given moment to be a pilgrim on the earth and to call upon the name of the Most High, man. Come. Let's read on in Matthew the 24th chapter.
Come. Verse 22. And except those days should be shortened, there shall no flesh be saved.
The Lord said, I got to cut those days short. Because if I don't cut them short, everybody's going to die. Read.
But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened.
Those days shall be shortened. Jump to verse 42.
Come. Verse 42. Watch ye therefore, for ye know not what hour your Lord doeth come. But know this, that if the good man of the house had known and would watch the thief would come, he would have watched.
He would have what?
He would have watched.
And what?
And would not have suffered his house to be broken up.
Didn't that happen to Pharaoh? Pharaoh wasn't watching. The heathen are never watching, man. They're asleep in the night, drunken in the night. Guess what? We're aware about what's going on the earth. We're in tune, man. We may not know the exact year, month, hour, and second of Yahushua's return, but guess what we're watching? We're paying attention. Like brothers know about the doomsday clock. Brothers see what's going on with Donald Trump, man. Right? We see what's going on with Russia, Iran, China, Brazil. We're paying attention, man. That's all certain brothers talk about, man. Right? All they do is talk about the current events and what's going on. They're looking for this place to go down, man. And that's the spirit that you want to be in, man. So let's read on.
But know this, verse 44. Therefore, be also ready.
What's the Passover about?
Be also ready.
What is this feast day about?
Be also ready.
Again, that's what it's teaching you. It's not just teach you to wear your shoes just to have your shoes on, man. You wear your shoes all the time. So why did the Lord say wear your shoes on your feet, man? Right? Everybody always had their staff. It was customary for the men to have their staff in their hand. Everybody always had their loins girded, man. But why on Passover? Why on this feast day? Because it is a night of watching. A night to be much observed. Right? Read that again one more time, King.
Matthew chapter 24, verse 44. Therefore, be also ready.
Be ye what?
Be also ready.
Why do we eat it in haste?
Be also ready.
Be ye also ready. Read.
For in such an hour as ye think not the Son of Man coming.
Read.
Who then is a faithful and wise servant.
Who's a faithful and wise servant? Go on.
Whom his Lord hath made ruler over his household to give them meat in due season.
Read.
Blessed is that servant whom his Lord, when he cometh, shall find so doing.
So when the Lord returns and all hell break loose, if you've been in the spirit of watching, that's what the Lord is looking out for, man. Those are the people that's going to make it, man. Those who have been in the spirit, watching, praying, asking for mercy, pushing themselves to do the work of the Most High, and in the spirit of readiness and the spirit of having a sober mind. Go on.
Verily I say unto you, that he shall make him ruler over all his goods. But, and if that evil servant shall say in his heart, my Lord delayeth his coming.
Like Pharaoh said, who is the Lord, man? He said that, man. Who is the Lord that I should let them go, man? That's equivalent to saying my Lord delayeth his coming, man. Like Nicanor said, he also said, I am mighty upon the earth too, man. He told that to the people, man. And then you got people in the truth that say, my Lord delayeth his coming. And you may not say that verbatim, but you're thinking that. You're showing it, like Yaradon said. It's all over your face. That you're thinking about going back in the world. You're working more and more hours. You're saving up more and more and more money. You really don't show up around brothers anymore. You always have an excuse. Right? Your Bible's collecting dust. You used to read 5 chapters, now you read 2. You know, you don't watch videos anymore. You kind of pray, but you really don't. You're kind of just drifting off, man. And saying, oh, Yahweh Shah's not returning. A lot of brothers, when you come to the truth, you have a timeline. You put the Lord in the timeline. Yeah, I know the Lord won't come back in 3 years. Then 7 years go by. 10 years go by. The Lord not coming. Because it seems like prophecies happen, then they do what? They kind of slow down. I remember when they killed the Iranian general, man. Brothers on the edge of their seat, man. They went in their closet, shook the dust off their garment. They started ironing it, man. Right? Found their cat boots. Amazon, they looked them up. Did next day shipping. Paid that extra fee, man. You know? Did what they had to do, man. And then after that happened, things kind of quieted back down, man. And they took their garment off, they hung it back in the closet, man. Right? Put back on a damn beater, man. White beater. The spaghetti stains on it. Right? And went back to go play pickup football, man. And they went back in the world. So you can't say, my Lord, delayeth this coming. Just because you don't see things happening the way that you want them to happen, don't think things ain't happening, man. Go to Zephaniah 3 and 5. I'll tell you what, every day something is happening, man. Every day something is happening. Just because you don't see it, don't mean it's not happening, man. The Most High, he's a mastermind. And he works in quiet mode sometimes, man. And the Lord do things in stealth. Bring that up.
Zephaniah chapter 3 and verse 5. The just Lord is in the midst thereof. He will not do iniquity every morning.
No, it don't happen.
Every morning.
How often?
Every morning.
Every morning, what happens?
Doeth he bring his judgment to light. He faileth not, but the unjust knoweth no shame.
So every morning something is happening, brothers. Every morning, whether it's big or small, it's all leading up to what? To our deliverance, man. It's all leading up to Yahweh Shah's return. So don't be discouraged when you don't see bombs dropping. You don't see another earthquake that killed 40,000 people, man. And we want to see it. We want to see 80,000 heathen die, man. I was looking at that number go up and up and up and up, man. I don't know how much it is now. I think it's like 50,000, man. You know, maybe 60,000. Right? But guess what? These things are going to happen on the Lord's time. It's not on your time. It's on Yahweh Shah's time. Huh? Come? So go back to Matthew chapter 24. So never say, my Lord, delayeth this coming, man. Never think things ain't happening, man. Because as soon as you start thinking that, the Most High is going to give you over to that spirit. And that's a sign of you folding your hands, lifting up your legs, and saying, I'm just resting my eyes. Right? Bring that up.
St. Matthew chapter 24 and verse number 49. And shall begin to smite his fellow servants and to eat and drink with the drunken.
And that's what people do. They smite their fellow servants. Remember, they break them down verbally. Y'all still out there doing the work? I'm getting this money. Y'all still teaching? Y'all waiting on your sky God? That's what they say. We've heard this. What else have we heard? Yo? Yeah, y'all still waiting on yo? Right? That's what they say in Baltimore. I ain't scared of yo. Yeah, they say that. Right? Y'all still out here teaching? Y'all still out here? Again? I remember we was teaching in the rain one time. This Eve walked by. She got mad at us, man. Why y'all still out here? So that they actually get vexed, man. Every week, y'all don't have a job. They always say, get a job. And we got a job, man. And that's our job, too. We working double time, man. We put in more work than any of you people in the world, man. And through the grace of Yahweh B'Shem Shah, of course, man. So you got people that don't smite their fellow servant, man. I'm out getting this money, man. You keep that Shabbat if you, that's why you broke. Remember the brother Hammer? Yeah. But I don't know if brothers remember the brother Hammer, man. But he would come by and just scoff all the time, man. A Baltimore scoffer. And he would walk by and just say lewd things out of his mouth, man. I'm out here getting this money. And y'all out here teaching on the highways and byways. That's why your shoes dirty. And he would just say anything, man. And what happened to that brother? Yeah, that brother got put to death, man. That brother died, man. You know, we don't want to rejoice in that brother's death, but hey, guess what happened, man? So, do not say, my Lord, the layeth is coming. Read that again, Gabar, in Matthew 26.
Say Matthew, chapter 24.
Yeah, imagine taking your shoes off during the time of the Passover. The Lord said keep your shoes on, and you just, damn, it's 11:59. I'm going to just take my shoes off. Oh, it's 11:59. I'm going to just ungird my loins, man. Put my staff down. Then 1 minute later, all hell break loose, man. Because you said, my Lord, the layeth is coming. Read on.
Matthew 24 and verse number 50. The Lord of that servant shall come in a day when he looketh not for him, and in an hour that he is not aware of.
And what?
And shall cut him asunder.
And shall what?
And shall cut him asunder.
What the Lord going to do?
And shall cut him asunder.
And shall cut him asunder. Read.
And appoint him his portion with the hypocrites. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
Go to 2nd Ezra chapter 2 and verse 13. 2nd Ezra chapter 2 and 13.
2nd Ezra chapter 2 and verse number 13.
Again, we're about to eat the lamb soon, man. Through the will and grace of Yahweh B'Shem Shah. God, allowing us to have another Passover, man. All praise to Yahweh B'Shem Shah. Brothers should have their staff in their hand, man. When it's time. Your shoes on your feet when it's time. Your loins girded when it's time. Thinking about midnight and the time of our forefathers and fleeing out of Egypt. Thinking about the spiritual midnight that comes on Babylon the Great and separating and fleeing from this world, man. 2nd Ezra chapter 2 and 13.
2nd Ezra chapter 2 and verse 13. Go ye, go and ye shall receive.
What the Lord said?
Go and ye shall receive.
Read.
Pray for a few days.
Do what?
Pray for a few days unto you, that ye may be shortened. The kingdom is already prepared for you. Watch.
Do what?
Watch.
Do what?
Watch.
Do what?
Watch.
Do what?
Watch.
And with that, put your shoulder. Put your shoulder. Put your shoulder. Put your shoulder.